Teysa, Orzhov Scion versus Anax Cymede. We've decided to keep this hand because we have 3 lands and there's no better reason to keep a hand other than that. I think we'll run out the swamp first and just pass the turn. Looks like we're going into a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic. I'm not sure what our commander does actually, or what this commander does. First Strike and Vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, creatures you control get +1/+1 trample till the end of the turn. Yeah, so I think the Jit will be a good thing to go for then, if our opponent wants to get out a lot of creatures. Yes, we will go for the Jit. Pass the turn to our opponent. Our commander, Teysa, Orzhov Scion, basically wants to sacrifice our own creatures for value to things like Skull Clamp and Ashnod's Altar, things like that, and then get out more spirit tokens, which can then be sacrificed to exile creatures from our opponent's side of the field. And then we have combos with things like Painter's Servant and Darkest Hour that will allow us to get unlimited spirits, basically. So we're going to crack the Flooded Strand and go for, I think we'll go for a Monastery Mentor, so we'll grab a Scrubland. Or do we want... No, I think I like the value from Monastery Mentor here. We can stand to take a few hits from our opponent. We can actually swing in here as well for a massive 1 damage. Yeah, Monastery Mentor is an excellent card in any token deck that has white, of course. It's a 2/2 with Prowess. The Prowess is not usually significant in my experience. What is the best ability on this creature is the fact that it's whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white monk creature token, and it just so happens that the creature token that it spits out also has Prowess, so everything's getting buffed. But when you start casting things like Disenchant and card draw effects, equipments, all that type of thing, you're just getting free creatures basically. We'll get down our 4th land drop, and I think I'd like to get out, or do I want to ensure that we make another land drop next turn? No, I think what we can do is get down the Jitte and the Gather the Townsfolk this turn, then go for Read the Bones next turn if we don't draw into a land. Yeah, I don't mind that. And we'll get a couple more tokens off the Monastery Mentor, and just hope our opponent doesn't board wipe after all this. Jitte will be very good in this matchup, I think. I might actually just equip. No, I think I'll just go for the Gather the Townsfolk. I don't think they're going to swing in anyway, and we can't swing in because of the Maze of Ith to get some counters on the Jitte. So I think we will just swing in with both our creatures, probably just to get in 1 point of damage after Maze of Ith gets rid of Monastery Mentor. But as you can see, that taking off that 1 turn to play Monastery Mentor last turn has meant that we have gotten 2 free monks. So we might go into land and Teysa next turn and hold up Disenchant, or equip the Jitte, and then we're well on our way to controlling the board with regards to keeping creatures off. Although I don't think we care about either of these. That is a 1/1 flyer. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a +1 so it can buff itself, basically. And Eidolon of Countless Battles gives the creature +1/+1 for each creature you control and each aura you control. So that has all of a sudden become a 5/5 in the air, which is nothing to be sniffed at. Also has Shroud. The other creature has Heroic, so It gets a +1/+1 counter for each creature you control, whenever you cast a spell that targets it, that is. We have not drawn a land, but what we can do is still further our mana by going in for the Orzhov Signet. And then I think we just get out Teysa here. Alright, so now we can start swinging in and doing some damage actually. I think we'll go for it with the tokens as well. If our opponent wants to chump block and trade just on a token, that's fine with me. And what we can start doing next turn is put the Jitte on one of these 1/1 tokens, and that means that our opponent will have a choice of whether to take less damage, probably from the mentor, and unblock and untap that. Homeward Path is what we could do with to get rid of this pesky shroud. Oh no, I'm thinking of completely the wrong land. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the land that gets Hexproof and Shroud off your opponent's creatures. Assemble Legion, very good. Yeah, so we can put the Jitte on a 1/1 token, and then our opponent has to choose between more damage or a Jitte being on the battlefield, an active one. Our opponent holding back a blocker now. And Assemble the Legion is the type of card that gets out of control very quickly. Luckily we have Disenchant for that. I think we want to try and get into a land here. And we can still disenchant, so I think we'll go for a Read the Bones. We'll get more Monastery Mentor tokens there. Alright, Ashnod's Altar is good. We'll put that on top. But we'll have to make sure not to crack. Oh no, we draw both the cards. What am I thinking? Yeah, so we can play this and crack it and get out a Godless Shrine, I think. Do we care about one token from that? I think we can disenchant next turn and just go for... I mean, this Jitte's been out for long enough, I think. We need to start actually using it. Okay, our opponent doesn't like... Our side of the board doesn't like the way we tap that mana. There we go, we'll just go for the 1/1 human. So as I said, our opponent now needs to decide whether they want to take less damage, or if they want to untap the 1/1 human. Okay, and Maze of Ith. Okay, well, our opponent forgot to Maze of Ith there, so that's a mistake on our opponent's part. I think we'll just leave the Jit for now, and yeah, we can respond to anything our opponent does. Luckily we have lots of creatures in play now, so we can get rid of any problem creatures before Lightning Greaves is equipped to them. An argument to be made actually for getting rid of the Lightning Greaves itself, just so we can get rid of this big 6/6 flyer. But we have both Anguish Unmaking and Disenchant, so we can actually deal with both of those if needs be. Okay, our opponent decided to swing in. So I wonder if they're about to board wipe. Okay, Hyena Umbra. So what we'll do is kill that with the Jitte in response. So we get a 2-for-1 on our opponent there. And yeah, destroy all creatures. So this Teysa only cares about black creatures dying. Unfortunately, we don't have any black creatures in play, so... Can we do anything in response? No, it just... We don't want to exile the token, anyway, because that would be pointless. We'll get the Godless Shrine intact. And it's a shame to lose the Monastery Mentor, but I think, yeah, I think we come off better there, to be honest, because we have a lot of cards in hand. We can still play our commander. We have Jitte. Our opponent does have Assemble a Legion, but they won't have that for long. And we will, in response, kill this and make sure that that's not a problem for us. Okay, we draw into our own board wipe. I think we'll get into some card draw now. And yeah, I think we'll disenchant as well. Just because Assemble the Legion will go crazy eventually. Also, conscious of the Lightning Greaves as well. The sooner we get that off, the better. Glad we've got Phyrexian Arena down now, because Blind Obedience is not entirely relevant to us, I think, but it would be nice to get some creatures in untapped so that we could chump block anything that's coming in, especially with that haste on the field. We'll yield to the Extort trigger. Opponent getting in a commander and hasting it up. Not too worried about it, to be honest, because we can control tokens not only with Toxic Deluge but with Jitte as well when we finally get that going again. We'll always yield to this. Get the Marsh Flats down and get another swamp. And we have to be very cautious of our life total now, especially with Anguished Unmaking in hand. I think what we can do is, how much mana do we have? 5 there. And the reassembling skeleton. No, I don't think I like that. I'd like to go for Anguished Unmaking into Swords to Plowshares, which would leave up 3 mana. So we can either play Ashnod's Altar or the Reassembling Skeleton. I think I like the Reassembling Skeleton there, which of course comes in tapped. Yeah, I think, yeah, there's no point in us equipping Jitte here, so we'll hold up Anguish Unmaking and Swords to Plowshares. Our opponent decided to just straight up swing in here. Argument to be made that we could have held on to the Swords to Plowshares to gain a bit of life, but our opponent is in top deck mode now. This Blind Obedience is going to be relevant for the rest of the game because they're going to be able to quite easily extort us of life. So I think what I'd like to do here is, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'd be 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I think I'll get a Ophiomancer, equip Jitte to the Reassembling Skeleton to gain some life. Ophiomancer, a very underrated card. It spits out a 1/1 snake token with Death Touch. The Death Touch is very important every turn. It goes great with Skull Clamp. If you can Skull Clamp, instant speed even. I don't know why you'd be running black in an equipment deck, but if you, well, Karlov or something like that I suppose you could use. If you can equip it with Skull Clamp every turn anyway, you gain crazy value, and even if it's just during your turn, you kill the snake, get 2 cards, and then just spit out another snake next turn. So it's a very, very good card. We know that our opponent doesn't have anything now, so we can go for... How much life does Jitte get you? 2? 2 life from Jitte, so we can get 4 here. Ah, forgot about the Maze of Ith. Yes. That's a problem then. Alright, so now we could really do with some board wiping. Thought we'd cracked it there. Alright, well we can get Raise the Alarm out anyway, and just hope that we draw into something. We need to, yeah, we need to think about what Blind Obedience can do to us. We need to get Jitte through, so something like a Wasteland or a Tectonic Edge, something like that. Hold up Raise the Alarm. Always yield to that. Certainly Orpheomancer isn't as good with the Blind Obedience out. Oof. And our opponent, can they can't play their commander and extort us as well. Our opponent chooses not to extort us. I'm not sure why they wouldn't do that. Probably because they're eager to get their commander out. So we live another turn, and our opponent might have been able to actually do something about it. Okay, and we'll just Raise the Alarm now so that we can yield for the rest of the turn. Okay, Demonic Tutor gets us anything we want. I forget what life gain we have in this deck, but we're about to find out. If any. I don't know if I have any life gain in here. I know at one point I had Soul Warden and all those types of cards. Let's try and Vindicate. I mean, it might just be best for us to go for a Wasteland and get rid of that Maze of Ith. Yeah, I don't think I have anything here. Which makes the Jitte our best option. Which means we just go for Wasteland. And kill the Maze of Ith. And then is there anything in the graveyard? Maybe Karmic Guide for Monastery Mentor? I don't think that's terrible. Or we could get out Teysa. Decisions. I think we can get out Teysa here. And then swing in with the skeleton. And if our opponent blocks it, we get another white creature, which is means for us to exile one of our opponents. No, that's a 0/4, so our opponent probably won't kill the reassembling skeleton unless they block with their commander. But either way, looks like the Jitte is going to get some counters on it, and we can gain some life, which we quite eagerly need now. Opponent deciding what to do. Maybe they don't know Teysa very well. What our opponent should do here is block with the 0/4. Nope, just letting the damage through, so 1 damage for nothing, but inconsequential, I think. I'm just going to... could probably do with the Ashnod's Altar next turn so that we can start sacrificing this snake and getting some tokens in play. Yeah, it's not likely that our opponent's going to play a split-second card that gets rid of the Jitte, like Cross and Grip is the only one I know of. Our opponent's starting to pay for the extort, and just has a land tax. Don't think they're going to swing in thanks to the death-touching snake. But you never know, they might do. And we will of course gain 4 life at the end of the turn. which at this rate means that we will get out of blind obedience territory. Okay, I think we've managed to stabilise here. Need you to pass on that, opponent. Okay, our opponent decided to just give up there. I think we would have stabilised over the next turn or two. Would have liked to see our opponent play that out, to be honest, because they could have drawn into board wipes and all sorts, so maybe they don't have any more board wipes, I don't know, but I think our opponent could have played that for an extra few turns to see how it played out for them. But nevertheless, I am tribalkai on the EDH channel. I thank you very much for watching. More Teysa coming up, lots of different commanders. If you have any suggestions for any commanders that you'd like to see, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.